Justin Fields, MVP. One analyst believes it is so. We'll talk about it. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gas-darned bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green fucking Daily, fucking Daily, fucking Daily. Let's go!
Dewey Mama.
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We're here on a Sunday, baby. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We'll start off the top rope with K-Brock. Morning, everyone. Today is my 30th birthday. God bless. Happy birthday, K-Brock. And thank you for spending it, or at least a little piece of it here, on Boy Green Daily. We got plenty of Jets action to get into, and no, I won't be doing today's show alone. We've got a very special guest joining us. It's been too long, quite frankly, since we've had this man on the show, and I only have one question for this guy coming on the show, and it is this. What is the good word, DKB? What's going on, brother?
What's the good word, boss? Hope you've been really well. And family's been good. I know it's been a minute for sure, but I'm pumped. Training camp coming up in a couple weeks here, week and a half or so, I believe.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, the rookies report in 6 days, which is crazy, but right. An actual legitimate practice is still a handful of weeks away, about 2-ish weeks away before we officially get there, I guess, from that perspective. But let me throw this up on the big screen, which is this brilliant YouTube channel for the love of everything that's holy. Look at that, DKB and some Jets. There is also a link in the YouTube description down below. DKB, start us off with a slice. What could Jet fans be getting if they hit that big old black subscribe button right there on the screen?
I think really it's just my honest thoughts, reviews. If you catch me during the off season, plenty of scouting breakdown. So I love diving into the UDFA class, for example. But I cover draft picks as well, targets, different things of that nature. But I just react to essentially whatever news is out there, and I try to put my spin on it or fresh take, and just create some conversation within the community.
Well, that's all we can ever do as content creators in this universe is try to create some commentary and on all things New York Jets. Well, I've got a topic for you, DKB. It's this, because the NFL Media Group, a.k.a. NFL.com, they put out a column this week, and they highlighted the 7 teams in the NFL who have not had an MVP in the Super Bowl era and talked about the likelihood of those teams championing an MVP in 2025. And for the Jets, the conversation was, what is the path for Justin Fields? I'm like, Justin Fields, MVP? What in the world? But apparently so, that there is a little bit of action as it pertains to the possible path for a Justin Fields MVP. And here, I'll give the blurb before we get your initial reaction to this DKB quote. Not even Hall of Famer Joey Willie Namath earned an MVP. Perhaps Justin Skylar Fields. Did not know that was his middle name, but you learn something new every day. Could be the first Jet to do so. Fields is set to start for his 3rd NFL club since the Bears took him with the 11th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. In Chicago, he showcased rushing ability from the quarterback spot, more dynamic than any signal caller in the league, not named Lamar Jackson. If Fields can rediscover that rushing vigor, find peak passing bliss in Tanner Engstrand's offense, and most imperatively, guide New York to a playoff berth after 14 long years without one, well, maybe an MVP isn't out of the question. DKB, your thoughts?
Yes, it's a lot of word salad to me, right? You could talk about any player in the league and say, take Will McDonald. Hey, if he stayed on the streak he had last year, he could reach 32 sacks this year. And, there's a lot of stuff that you can put out there. I think if you look at across the league, and I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, the pinnacle of these guys are barely eclipsing or reaching 4,000 passing yards. Touchdowns might be maybe more a number, right? But Justin Fields also hasn't proven at any point to be the most efficient, like touchdown to interception ratio type guy either. And maybe he can reach like the completion percentage mark just by virtue of being a more efficient passer and us actually seeing those numbers increase over the course of his career so far. So I'm not putting him anywhere near the MVP conversation, right? Like the conversation for him centers more so around, can he at least reach consistent average quarterback play? And then maybe we start having conversations around, well, what does the upper tier of his game look like? But I think he can have respectable numbers as a whole, but I don't see him being in any kind of MVP conversation this year.
I have those numbers. We'll get to those actually in just a second. But before we do, there's two problems with this premise. Unfortunately, again, it was, let me make sure I get the guy's name right. His name is Grant Gordon, double G in the morning. Okay, he's the one that put this out into the universe. Here's the problem with old Grant Gordon, is that if you look at Justin Fields, and again, we're going to get to the numbers in a second, but if you look at just Justin Fields, his own numbers, these are his career highs in some of the major categories. At his best, he's had a 65.8% completion percentage. That happened last year in the 6 games for the Steelers. In 2023, his career high in passing yards was over 2,500 passing. In 2022, his career high in rushing yards was over 1,100. That's the second most in a single season of all time, only behind Lamar Jackson. The problem is that all of those are wonderful. The passing is very low, but the rest of them are just dandy, but they happened across 3 different seasons. To have an MVP year, all of those have to happen in the same season and more because the passing wasn't enough. But over the last 5 years, here are the MVPs. I've got all the numbers here. We got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and our good old boy Aaron Rodgers, who won back-to-back. Good times, good times. And I averaged out all their numbers in passing yards, touchdown reception ratio, completion percentage, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. It said, what's the average? Like, what kind of conversation does Justin Fields have to be in to even be in thought to be in the conversation for MVP? The average number in passing yards is 4,200. The average for passing touchdowns is 36. The average in interceptions is 7. The average in completion percentage is 68%. The average in rushing yards is 392, and the average in rushing touchdowns is 5. That is, again, averaging the last 5 MVPs in the National Football League altogether. To your point, there have been passing numbers that have been smaller. Josh Allen last year only had 3,700. The year before, Lamar Jackson only had 3,600. So there are MVPs that exist where you don't have to blow the roof off and do it in that number, but they're overcompensating those 2 players in other categories that are much higher. So that's another thing that Justin Fields, would have to figure out. Now, here's the other thing about all these numbers I just said. 4,200 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 68% completion percentage, 392 yards rushing, and 5 touchdowns. For context, in Jets history, 4,200 would be the most a quarterback has ever thrown. 36 passing touchdowns would be the most a Jets quarterback has ever had. The touchdown reception ratio, it would be the best in Jets franchise history. The 68% completion percentage would be second all time, only behind Chad Pennington if we use minimum amount of games required. Chad Pennington had a 68.7% completion percentage season, and the rushing yards would be second all time, behind Al Duro, your 1960 New York Titans quarterback rushing record for a single season, and then 5 touchdowns. That's tied for 4th. We've actually had some good rushing touchdown numbers from some quarterbacks over the course of history. So, or let me ask you this, because you don't seem to, it doesn't look like you got the scuba gear on there, DKP. You're not ready to swim in these waters, peruse these waters yet. Can Justin Fields hit any of these numbers 4,200 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, having 7 interceptions or less, having a 68% completion percentage, 392 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns. What of those stats do you believe are realistic to achieve in 2025?
So anything rushing, I think, is an easy mark to hit for him. So
For
if I
sure.
stick on the passing side, um, I don't want to say it's a coin flip. Um, let's say the rushing is skewed 70-30, right?
Hmm.
I think there is a chance maybe that he can stick under 7 interceptions. And this is assuming that he's doing a fair amount of rushing himself
Hmm.
and maybe throwing 15 to 20 times a game. And you're even, I don't know, maybe he puts the ball in harm's way only once or twice in a game. And hopefully it's not resulting in a turnover. Maybe that ends up being the case. Um, but none of the numbers really make sense for how I think we're going to funnel things through the ground game, which will be ideal. So outside of rushing, it's tough for me to think that he's going to get 30 touchdowns unless he becomes a machine, which he's never been in the red zone. So we'll see, right? We don't know what it looks like, and that's part of what the excitement around training camp is for as well,
Of course.
for me personally. But I think pass numbers wise, we have to pump the brakes quite a bit.
And I agree with you. I think the rushing numbers he's going to annihilate. I think, hey, any Jet season, single season previous record holders, take a picture. It's going to last longer because Justin Fields is going to light them all on fire. I think he's going to crush them all. So all rushing numbers, I think he's going to destroy. Once we get into the passing, I guess we get into what Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engström have said this entire offseason. They're going to, quote unquote, let him play quarterback. I still don't know what that means, but we're going to find out what the hell that means. And maybe there is some unlocking to his game. But when I mentioned it, career high 2,500 passing yards, 2,500 passing yards. That ain't a lot at all. That is far away from the lines that are drawn in the sand for comparing quarterbacks. So it's just an entirely different ballpark. Let me ask you this, DKB, joining us, gracing us with your presence here on a gosh darn Sunday morning on July 13th. Okay, let me ask you this about this entire conversation. Are you a believer in Justin Fields?
Yes, for yeah, for how all the conversation has gone so far, I do think that Justin Fields can become an adequate NFL quarterback. Maybe he never becomes a top 10 guy or something like that you'd expect from a first rounder.
Okay.
But I think he's a guy that can, when if things work out the right way for him, he has the skill set to be a guy that can get you to the playoffs and win there. And we've seen teams win Super Bowls with less talent at quarterback, with a stacked team behind them. So I don't think we've checked off the stacked team box, of course, year one at AG's regime, but there's enough promise for him to be able to fulfill this year. And you feel a lot better about him going in a year or two.
DKB, is this the best situation Justin Fields has ever had in his NFL career?
If you look at the totality, yes. I think there was actually an underrated year or two in there with the Bears, but you look at their coaching staff and how things went awry, and the Bears at one point were probably rivaling us in like stupidity, right? For how things were being managed.
Yeah.
But when you look at pieces that he's had, like having DJ Moore out there, and then having the ground game that he had, and different elements of that nature, you can make an argument that it's not technically his best team on paper, but the improved coaching staff with AG, the commitment to his skill set and the pieces we have around him and stuff, I would probably say yes as a whole, right? The offensive line being probably the key factor.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the number one Austrian Jet fan for sending me all this gear. I got now a Justin Fields Jet shirt to don. So thank you for the printing press happening over in Austria. So thank you very much for sending this gift package going on here. Let me ask you another question, DKB. You mentioned that the coaching staff is going to be better. And I imagine it has to be by default since our coaching staff was god awful last year. But I ask you this, DKB, how much better is the coaching staff going to be? The fact that it's going to be better, God, I hope we all hope that's true. But how much better? Like 32 to 27, 32 to 20, 32-15. If we're looking at the rest of the National Football League, how realistic is the jump from the shitty coaching we've had to what we can have in 2025?
Yeah, I think if you high level overview it, right, Robert
Mm,
Saleh narrowly missed out on two playoffs. And then
right.
year one was terrible, year four was horrendous, right? Week
Yes,
five
that's about
exit
right.
or whatever it was.
Yeah. No.
Um, so if that's kind of the bar that we've at least had a
Mm,
shot at playoffs 2 years legitimately, and that's with some extremely terrible coaching in and of itself that cost us some wins, right?
yep.
Um,
Yep.
I would probably say like the upper part of the lower third tier, if that makes sense. So let's call it 16 to like
Ooh.
25, somewhere in that range, I think is where we
So if
could
we squint our eyes, we could see average. That's what you're
have
saying?
gone. Considering the talent that we have available to us and stuff, yeah, right. I think a lot of that's going to
Okay.
be dictated by the coaching staff trying to get acclimated to the talent that they have and different things like that. But yeah, I think you see, right? So we have a coaching staff that's like, I don't know if there's another staff that's ever actually been constructed this way. So many former players that is ridiculous. So
Yes.
the football awareness, the situational
Mm,
football that we've seen Salah's regime fail miserably at. I expect that
mm,
would be a huge boost, right? You have not only the players on the field that need to execute, but you have the coaching staff players that can run through and bounce and try to course correct immediately a lot of that stuff that they see going wrong. You have an actual identity this time around. So uh, you have this weird asterisk with you pointed out whatever it means with Justin Fields playing quarterback, but there's no concern about this not being a rushing team, right? Hard nosed football, ground and pound, the 2007 type Rex Ryan team with a
mm.
little bit more modern element, right? And then you have the defense, and I think you don't. It's going to look much different from Robert Sala's, of course, because the
Mhm.
DNA between AG and Salah is pretty different. Um, but I think he still is essentially going to stick to what's doing well for this team, while still being able to help out a lot of players. I know the linebackers, for example, they're going to be blitzing a lot more this year. You're going to see a lot more cover one going on out there with the Sauce and team being able to go out there and play man coverage and stuff. So I think we're going to feed into what we can actually go out there and execute on the field. And I think that'll produce results. Are we talking 10-win seasons and all that kind of nonsense? Probably not. But um, I would say that over the course of the entire season, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't think those conversations are out of discussion.
Ooh.
Um, just by nature of you're not shooting yourself in the foot. I think a lot of what we saw with teams like the Patriots, teams like the Chiefs now, teams like the Ravens, teams like the Colts when they were good was that they did the job that they needed to do. And it was going to be good enough to get them a win 9 times out of 10. But in the event that the other team couldn't get the crap together, it just really helped further push the point, right? And separate the good from the bad. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in year one with AG.
Fair enough. We got 200 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, and you see it on your screen. DKB Jets. That's happening here on the program. So make sure you show love to both YouTube channels here on the program. I'll tell you this right now. Stephen Foxy just jumping in, Boy Greek Coffee Club member. He says, here's my estimate for Fields this season: 3,200 passing yards, 22 to 28 passing touchdowns, 6 to 8 rushing touchdowns, 8 to 900 yards rushing, and 10 to 12 interceptions. I will give up my third unborn child right now if you could guarantee these statistics. I would sign up for that right now on July 13th if you could guarantee, put a guarantee on the side of a box of Justin Fields for this kind of production. I'd sign up for this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think this is crazy. Actually, this is probably one of the more realistic and modest
Ooh.
predictions I've seen up there.
Like this
Yeah,
is this.
yeah.
It's like looking at
I
this is
probably renamed my kid
pretty
Skyler or
much.
something for this.
See, that's what I'm talking about, baby. We got to do what we got to do. So I love that, Foxy. Thank you very much. What are you excited about? What's revving your engine, DKB, as we're days away from players starting to report for training camp and then eventually practice shortly thereafter. What revs your engine? What are you excited about heading into Jets training camp in 2025?
Yeah, to probably just getting a further look at the coaching staff and how they plan on deploying these players. I think OTAs was a little eye opening in terms of like how AG was running his practice, the certain kind of drills they were running, the commitment to fundamentals, instead of just trying to install scheme and roll out different scenarios that way. So I expect that'll continue. He seems to be a guy that continues to want to try to involve things as quickly as possible. But ultimately, probably just player development and then the coaching staff. What kind of tactics are we looking at from them? And then what kind of jump from some of these players could we potentially expect, right? I think year one of any new regime, there could be hidden breakout guys that might be out there. So I'm trying to do some digging between when training camp kicks around and see what that might look like.
DKB, would you consider yourself a conservative guy or like an aggressive, risky guy if you had to label yourself?
Probably aggressive, but aggressive within what I'm expecting my team to do, if that makes sense. So, like, if you remember the good old days with Madden, when you can actually choose like your
Ah,
aggressiveness, and then you can choose
oh
like
yes.
I want to rush 80 times a game, and throw a handful of times. Um, I'm somewhere in that realm, right? From like
Hmm.
a standpoint, this is exactly how I want to operate, and then I try to push the pedal within the environment I'm expecting to set up.
Okay, I'll set that. That's a setup for a later question. We'll get back to that in a moment. But what is the concern level that rookie Mason Taylor is not signed yet? And for those who don't know, before you answer this question, that in the spring OTAs, mandatory minicamp, there's a player, that's a tongue twister, player participation agreement that these guys can sign, that even though their official contract isn't signed, they can participate in all the practices and they're covered if anything happens. That does not exist in training camp. You're either signed or you're not signed. If you're signed, of course, you can participate and do all the normal stuff. If you're not signed, you must be forced to watch from the sideline. You are not allowed to participate. It's against the NFL CBA. So if Mason Taylor is not signed by training camp, then he can't participate in practice. Just want to establish that for anyone who doesn't know that rule in the current CBA. But I take that to tell you, or to ask you, DKB, what is the concern level that Mason Taylor on July 13th is not yet under contract?
Yeah, I throw in another number for you guys. I'm not sure how much
Please.
this has changed in the last day or two, but 35 players still remain unsigned, and I believe like 30 of those players are all second rounders, right? So
Correct.
there's this weird thing going on where, for the first time in history, we're seeing second rounders get fully guaranteed contracts. So as far as the last bit of news I've seen, that's potentially what's going on here. It doesn't sound like there's verbiage disputes or contract language that's being settled through here. So I'm assuming it's just a payment schedule thing, and how much of that payment am I actually getting over the course of my rookie contract. So money is money. Like all these numbers are locked in. It's just a matter of how stringent the Jets are going to be on trying not to set a precedent. I can't tell you who the two teams that did agree to the fully signed contracts off the top of my head, but
I do know
uh,
them. It's Browns and Texans. They were the 33 and 34th overall picks, respectively. That was Carson Schlesinger, the UCLA linebacker, and Jaden Higgins, the Iowa State wide receiver.
makes sense. Also, teams that I wouldn't want to follow from like a money movement
Well,
standpoint, right?
that's a
Like,
good point.
they haven't set the best standards in that realm of things. And actually, you're still seeing a ton of fallout from like what happened with the Texans and Deshaun Watson and all that kind of stuff and that crazy contract. So it is what it is. I think this is just a situation where the Jets don't want to have to move forward, considering they might have to fully pay off their first two picks. Or we've seen a propensity to have multiple first or second rounders at certain points. So not a situation that you want to set up, especially since Mason Taylor wasn't like this star-studded first-round guy that magically fell to the second. So then anybody else just has a pretty decent conversation to try to put the Jets in a vice grip. But ultimately, I'm not worried. Like even if he misses a handful of practices, He went to tight end U, which I think was going to be really good for his development. He showed up to everything during OTAs. And ultimately, he's a pro's pro. Like, Jason isn't sitting there just being like, yeah, bro, you got this. There's, 16 practices this off season. You can afford to miss 2 or 3. Like, I'm sure he's going to be fully ready to report. And if it's the difference in him getting a couple 100,000, this year as opposed to next year or something, he'll just nix it and make sure that he can show up for the team. He doesn't seem like he's really, a selfish individual or anything like that.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing that bothers me. Bothers maybe is too aggressive, but maybe it's not. Is that like when we have two across the table, we have Mason Taylor and we have the Jets. We all know the end game. Mason Taylor plays for the Jets. So what do we need to do to get to the common goal? So like I hate when training camp practices are missed for Jets rookies because we know they're eventually going to sign. So just sign now. And I'm not saying that like a player bend the knee and do whatever the team says. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we can have compromise. We can both get together. What do we need to do here? We all know that eventually you're going to be playing for the Jets. We're not going to go through another NFL historical case where you sit out the entire year and re-enter the 2026 NFL draft. Let's both look at each other. Obviously, that's not happening. So what do we have to do to make this work? And I want this to work so Mason Taylor doesn't get compromised in any way. I want him to have every training camp practice. That should, in theory, give him the best opportunity to make the biggest impact possible when the season gets here. So I don't want him missing a lick. So I hope that this Jets team and this, while I get it, Browns and Texans do a silly thing that's never happened in NFL history before, and then, Mason's like, yeah, I want a piece of that action. I bet you do. Now all of a sudden we're in a weird place because we do it for you. I guess every second round pick for the next 100 years is going to be getting that same thing. So it's an interesting conversation, but that's just it for me. Come on, man. We all know you're playing for the Jets. So for the love of God, can both sides, as a fan who has no stake in it, like I'm not getting a cut of Mason Taylor's rookie contract, so it doesn't matter to me. But like, come on, man, can't we find this out and put these pieces together? I hope that can happen again. Let's cooler heads prevail and all that jazz. Shout out to MFC here, mother effing chew, gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership here on the channel. Toot toot.
Fire.
By the way, went to Ali Shafali. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership here on the channel. And you were up to seven contributions so far this month, which we appreciate. Very much so. And by the way, MFC, that officially gives you a raffle ticket for our contest. We're giving away a pair of Jets Cowboys tickets. So beautiful. Thank you, MFC, for jumping in on that baby. By the way, real quick before we go any further, DKB, are you heading to any Jets games this year?
No, it's tough with the baby, and then the little one starting up school.
What do you got ages on kids? It's been too long. We haven't been on with each other in too long. What do we got for the ages for the kiddos?
Yeah, so 5 turning 6 in December.
Right.
My 3-year-old just turned 3 in February, and then baby girl is going on 8 months here soon.
Oh, that's right, because both of our babies were very close. My son is 8 months, and he turns 9 months next month. So, yes, all of our... Well, you got one extra on me, because you're trying to have a pissing contest with me on how many kids. So, okay, you're winning that one, pal, I guess. But very nice. That's good that we're connected there at the hip. I want to know. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more, that'll be a little bit more difficult to figure out. But hopefully... when you figure out everything with the kids, I hope we could all meet up at a Jets game. That would be sick. So hopefully we could do that in the future. And look at this love coming in from Gator McCluskey here on the channel. Every time we get a YouTube super chat, we got to hear from, some of Gator singing.
Thank you for that. The super chat. You could get lucky here on the Boy Green Show. This show is daily. It's in the morning. Be sure to stay tuned. Let's go, Jets.
Wow is the only proper response to that video. Gator McCluskey here saying DKB, one of the greats. Subscribe to his channel, and I can't say it enough. I concur. Down in the YouTube description down below is a link directly to DKB's channel. And I will say this, DKB. So I've been doing this version of the show of this video program on YouTube 5 years in September. So that's coming up. I've been doing an audio version for like the last 12 years or so, something like that. And there is no one that's been more requested to come on this show than you. Of people live on the show, emails, pigeon carrier, smoke signal, God knows, faxes, text, emails saying, "Oh yeah, word of mouth. Hey Paul, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, DKB, he should be on the show. Oh yeah, DKB, check him out." I'm like, all right. So there has been no one in history that's received more requests than you. And that must be only because of your Jets content you bring to the table, and that a lot of people champion you in this way. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's always interesting to me because I'm a huge introvert, and not like in the normal way. I think when people hear introvert, they're like, all right, the guy's kind of like an anime weirdo, wearing a hoodie in the corner of his room or something for 16 hours a day. But just like I get socially worn out really, really quick. And by virtue, I generally don't speak a ton if it's not to the family or if it's not for like work purposes. So it's always funny looking back because I think I'm going into year 3 or year 4 now. And
Mm-hmm.
even dropping that first video was a lot for me. So I was like, what do I talk about? Obviously, I can Google some stuff up and stuff real quick, but why? Who cares? Why there's a million people already out here doing it. So to have come so far and then for so many people to really be bought into what I'm doing, and even all of the recommendations and stuff for like how to continue to improve stuff and get out there even more has been awesome.
Well, I will say that because I want to champion what you just said, because I think all of us that do this have had that same thought, and I think a lot of people are not pulling the trigger because of that thought. And the thought is this: I don't know, man. There's Jake Asman, there's Matt O'Leary, there's this guy, there's a million. Where do I fit into the puzzle? And are you a wrestling guy, DKB?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not super up to date anymore with it, but yeah, I love me some
Okay.
some.
Well, I was just watching a pay per view last night, or PLE as they call them now. Saturday night's main event was last night. We got Evolution tonight, some wrestling action, and there's a character named Jacob Fatu, and he has this line where he says, "Get in where you fit in," is what he likes to say, and I say that there is a place for everyone to fit in Jets content land. And if you just bite the sheets and just say, you know what, I'm gonna friggin' do this thing, and people are either going to love me or they're going to hate me. There's very few that just go, you know what, that guy was just perfectly adequate. What an adequate program. That was just adequate. That was just wonderful. If so, that show probably won't last very long. And the fact of the matter is, too many people are afraid or make that comment and say, boy, where am I going to fit in? There's too many people here. I don't know. You just have to do it. And that's what I did 5 years ago. I thought, like, Jesus, 5 years ago in 2020, I'm like, yeah, the YouTube. Yeah, I probably should have jumped on this train like 15 years ago, but I did not. And then I just said, every day that continues to move up, move on, like it's a later date that I didn't do it. So I just said, you know what, fuck it, let's join it. And at first, people get discouraged because when I was doing a live show 5 years ago in September, there were 3 people watching, and one was my mama. And nothing wrong with my mom. I appreciate the support, mom. But like there would just so you're putting in so much, but you're getting so little in production and clicks and all this other stuff. So like getting through that. I try to deliver this show whether 1,000 people are watching or 0 people are watching, because you never know when someone's watching you for the first time. Someone mentioned earlier they've never heard of you before. I think there was Indie Jets who said, "DKB, who the hell's that?" Well, introduced. Here he is, DKB. So you never know when someone's watching or embracing or listening or whatever for the first time. That's how I try to live my life. So shout out to Gator for the super chat. Shout out to you, DKB, for making the plunge. Obviously, people are resonating with your content. I get recommendations from a lot of people about, "Ooh, this guy should be on the show. This guy should be on the show." But I'm dead serious that you have gotten the most recommendations from all kinds of people before. And I love having you on the show. So it's an absolute treat. This is awesome. And same thing, Ricky New York Live. He's someone who just started a YouTube channel. So shout out to Ricky New York Live. That's another Jets content channel creation to share. And to me, I love spreading, what's the good word? Well, the good word on everybody in Jets content creator land is there's more room for others. I love championing others. It's to me, I don't go like it's Boy Green or nobody. I'm not bringing on any guest. I'm the greatest show of all time and fuck everybody else. No, why not open it up? I think that's only good for the listeners and the viewers. They get, more shows to watch and things of that nature. So that's amazing. I love it. So let's freaking go, DKB. And a fun fact I did not know. Now I know this for my next trivia night at my local pub. Gator says DKB was the first show open intro I ever did. That's true?
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but yeah, Gator's Gator's a monster, man. I seen because I think he does a lot of stuff for like Jay Gasman and stuff too.
Of
But
course, definitely. Yes.
a lot of people are like, you got to spruce up something, right? And Gator reached out and he's like, hey, man, I actually got some intros for you. I have like some background stuff for the YouTube art and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, kill it, kill it.
So wait, so that's how it all happened? Gator reached out to you. That's how the first show open intro he ever did was him reaching out to you. It's not like you discovered him in some way.
Yeah, no, I maybe been dropping content for like a year or something already, but like it was like literally I could just take my phone, chat about whatever I was chatting about, and upload. Like there wasn't there wasn't editing going on. There wasn't a ton of stuff that was being put into it. And he dropped by and was like, hey, I think this will really help things out with the channel, shake some things up, make it a little bit more interesting for you. And so I threw it in there and there's a lot of positive feedback to it, shouted him out, hopefully help get him some more people to take advantage of it, and kept it ever since.
By the way, Indy says he's not finding the channel. Again, there should be a direct link in the YouTube description down below. If it did not hyperlink for whatever reason, technology, I guess. Again, it is right there. I'll take off your comment for a moment. It's right there where you see it, DKB, little X, Jets. If you search that, it should pop right up on the channel. I'll bring it back up here. My YouTube tab closed up here, but I'll bring it back up so you guys can see it and see exactly what you'll be looking for here. On the channel. Yeah, I just YouTube search DKB Jets and it pops right up. Here you go. I'll present it here on the screen so you guys can take a gander if you'd like. Feel free to support a fellow Jets content creator here on the program. There it is. There is DKB likely saying, what is the good word on some subject matter? Probably right there on that live video you're seeing. There it is. That animated image as his avatar and all the Jets action. So DKB Jets, that is his channel for you to find. Again, if you just search out on YouTube DKB Jets, it should pop right up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and show your support. Let's get some more subscribers for another brother in arms, baby. That would be absolutely terrific. Gator said he was just a fan and wanted to help. Well, that's awesome. That's how Gator came to me. He said, hey, here's some Boy Green Daily stuff. I'm like, whoa, this freaking crap is amazing. And then all of a sudden, me and Gator have been working together for a long time on a lot of my different projects. So a big salute to Gator, another big salute to our number one Austrian Jets fan, baby. A 10-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Good Lord have mercy. 5 memberships or more are gifted on this channel. We must play a special video package, DKB. And boy, do they need to bring that back. But that's perhaps a separate conversation for another day, for the love of everything that's holy. Number one Austrian Jets fan, I will add that to your pile for this month. You added another raffle ticket. You're at 22 raffle tickets for a Jets Cowboys ticket giveaway that is on the scrolling ticker throughout the entire month of July. We're giving away 2 tickets to Section 228A. That's where we will be partying and hanging out for the Jets Cowboys game. So good luck, Austrian, picking up another ticket there. Again, if you guys would like to join that contest, as I'm about to read these 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, you guys can subscribe to my channel. That is free to do. And make sure you send in a $20 raffle ticket. You can spend $20 on the YouTube channel or send it in via PayPal or Venmo to have a chance to win the 2 Jets Cowboys tickets, the 2 Tailgate tickets, Chef Kevin Gilbert, and the 2 Jets Cowboys t-shirts. $600 value for $20. You can't beat it, baby. So good luck to everyone out there in the universe. Here are the 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club real quick. JC Jets, Julian Jules, RB, Bobby Shaw, Seth Martinez, Frank Truman Dumel, Sean Sharp, Matt P, Charlie Gatson. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, and Jared B, our moderator, just dropped the Discord link there as well, so you guys can hit it. And I saw Jared B also put in the direct link to DKB's YouTube channel. That'll make it even easier to subscribe to the channel. By the way, DKB, give us your oh yeah, a special request. 1 second. Austrian wants a different video played. I'm a man of the people. You send in memberships, I'll play you what you want. Here you go. Let's get some Jets Kevin James action.
Kevin James. I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Austrian, I'll make sure I do that for you moving forward. My apologies for going off the beaten path on the video package of playing happening there on the channel. DKB, what is your content lineup? When for me, it's every day. I beat people over the head with 7:30 a.m. content every gosh darn morning, plus a bunch of other crap throughout the week. What's your content schedule?
Normally Monday through Friday, I'm dropping something. I think it's like 4 a.m. Pacific Standard
Good
Time.
Lord. Okay.
But I try to guarantee Monday through Friday a video dropping at that time. Then on the weekends, probably rarely, I might drop something. And then you might get days where there's 2 or 3, 4 videos that are dropping, just depending on whatever I was able to dig up or whatever came to mind. But normally at least once throughout the week.
I like that. And also, Gator saying here, DKB's morning video drops are original and very well thought out. So I like that. I like the cut of your jib, DKB. You bring a certain je ne sais quoi to the Jets content community. That is for damn sure. DKB, I didn't get a chance to ask you this before the show. How much time do you have today? Do you have time for callers?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right, well, here we go, baby, you crazy animals. We got 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. If you'd like to call into the show, now is your time to get your participation trophy for the day. You can hop on over on the YouTube. It's going to be the pinned comment in just a moment to call into the program. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, we appreciate it, but make sure you hop on over to YouTube. That's youtube.com/boygreen25, baby. So a quick half time out, and we'll have your calls next after this.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
Let's bleep and go, baby. That is how we operate here on the channel. Let's friggin' go. The phone lines are now open. That is youtube.com/boygreen25 here on the channel. And keep it going. I also would like to make a request. DKB, I don't know when I'm going to kick the bucket. I'm not sure when I'm going to die. That's up in God's hands. But whenever I kick the bucket, I have a request. And Dade County McFly says, DKB has a solid Jets page. On my gravestone, I want it to say, Boy Green, solid Jets page. That's what I want it to say on my gravestone. So a request to the gods or whoever makes those decisions, please and thank you. God bless. So thank you, Dade County McFly, for that. Solid Jets page. I mean, that's really all what we're hoping for in this community. With that being said, let's jump on over to the phone lines. We got several calls already here on the program. We'll start off with the Hepster. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, GKB. How you doing, bud?
Good. How you doing, boss?
I've been checking you out, but I'm a crazy man. You know, I check out all the different content. You know, and you got some good takes over there. Now, as far as Justin Fields goes, in order to eclipse 4,000 yards, how many yards a game does he need?
All right, let's get the calculator out.
17 by 4, so you're talking at least 225, 230-ish yards a game.
Just find by 17, carry the one. 235 yards per game. is what the
Okay.
internet says. All right.
All right. So if he's passing that much, that's not really a good sign for us, right?
You don't think so? I don't think 235 is crazy. Like, but
Well,
I guess then we're going to have to get into attempts, and then what's the number on that to make it realistic? I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you said something earlier, DKB. Let's explore that. You said, what did you believe that the pass run ratio is going to be this year?
70-30.
Okay, that feels a little aggressive. I'll take a let me Price is right here. Give me a 65-35 for 500, Alex. I want to give you a 70-30. Maybe a 60-40, perhaps, where it's a clear lean, but not like, a full dip in the pool. So that's kind of
Right.
where I'm at. But okay.
I think this is the key, though. I think
All right.
if they stack, what is Justin Fields' strengths are his running
Yeah,
and his long ball
sure.
accuracy, right?
All right.
So if they stack the box and Arian Smith learns how to catch, we got lightning in a bottle. We got, like, you know what I mean? That's going to be a mess because then how are they going to cover that kid? You know, or they're going to have to empty the box. If they empty the box, then it's like, okay, Brees is going to start eating. So this is what I think Aaron Glenn is hoping for right here.
I would say on Arian real quick. I think so. If defender week one, let's go to Pittsburgh. This guy couldn't catch a bleeping cold. Let him run all over the place. We don't give a shit. And then Justin Fields hits 180-yard bomb to Aaron Smith. And they're like, oh shit, we got,
That's it.
and not just the Steelers, every team for the rest of the league. Let's just play
That's
out
right.
week one, right?
You got to
Right.
count
So
for him.
he runs deep, runs deep, runs deep. They're all like, yeah, run around, you idiot. Doesn't matter. And he hits one shot, one big shot. Steelers go, oh shit. The other teams on the Jets schedule go, oh shit, we gotta. They showed us that once. We at least have to respect that, and that's it to me. I don't think Arian has to be Tyreek Hill and scoring
Yeah.
2,000 yards and a
Right,
cajillion
right.
touchdowns. The threat backs people up, and all of a sudden, Justin Fields and Brees Hall running mesh, RPO, and everything else in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's if we're finding a winning recipe here for the New York Jets, it's the threat of the deep ball, to your point, and having like an Arian Smith who can take the top off of defense, and then beating the shit out of people with a concrete block running game. I think that's
Yeah.
key.
The other thing is that Justin Fields never had an offensive line this good before. I mean,
I don't think so.
we're projected to be a top 10 offensive line this year, and we're still young. We wait till the band gets tight, then these guys are going to be really good.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a good season. I believe in Aaron Glenn. Peace out, fellas.
God bless. Hep, gracing us with his presence. I just want to say this because there is some blasphemy in the comments right now. Some absolute blasphemy. Incel Alon says Jets have never had a 4,000-yard passer. It's only been 55 years. By the way, we're going on 65 years, pal. And number two, the Jets had the first 4,000-yard passer in NFL history. So open up a book, pal. Okay, Joe Willie, gosh darn name it, through 4,000 in 1967. It was the first quarter, and 14 games, by the way, was the first quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 yards. Okay, so put some goddamn respect on his name. Now, we haven't done it since, which you could mention there's a big gap there. But hey, the Chicago Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. What about the hate for them? We're all saying, oh, Jets suck. What about Chicago? Not one 4,000-yard passer. We had number one. We had the top guy. So, in so long, read a book, buddy. Read a bleeping book. Yeah. The disrespect, DKB. You want to throw some on him? You want to kick him while he's down? Huh?
Hey, look, respect to whatever world he's living, right? I think hyperbole is always fun, no matter whatever side of the spectrum you're on. So
yeah, there you go. So I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Oh, we are about to be graced by royalty. We're about to be graced by royalty. It is the man that is going to be at the Jets Cowboys tailgate, and he is an important piece to that puzzle. The one and only Chef Kevin Gilbert graces us with his presence. Chef.
Hey, BG, DKB, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
good. What's going
Excellent.
on, boss?
Hey, man, another beautiful day. DKB, I haven't spoken to you in a minute, man. Definitely appreciate all the content that you put out, man. Like for your page, man, like your posts. I'm somebody that's, on YouTube, and I wish I could do a little bit better job on my posts and whatnot. But for you, like your posts are like pretty insightful. It's funny how, we're talking about Fields, and the other day, like a week or two ago, he put up something about the top five, the last uh, 5 seasons, the top five rushing quarterback leaders. Justin Fields, I believe you had it like either 4 or 5. And
Ooh.
that was pretty cool to see, knowing that he also had the least amount of games played by all those other quarterbacks. So knowing about Fields not really having a ton of weapons in the places that he was at, also knowing that the line situations weren't all that good, knowing that he missed a bunch of games and all, like I felt really good when you put that up. I am high on Fields. It's just like I think BG said it before, like, how confident are you? Do you feel really, really confident? And I think that that has to be open a little bit until we start seeing some stuff, man, with the team, because now he's with another team. Coaching obviously is a little different now.
Mhm.
We could all say, Mike Tomlin, I feel like most of us think that he's a really good coach. Obviously, he's on the defensive side of the ball, but just being a coach, knowing that he was able to get 4 wins last year in the first 6 games, like, he did something. But I wasn't really too impressed with the numbers in those 4 games. He only had 10 touchdowns. It was 5 rushing, 5 passing kind of deal. He only went for 300 yards just one time. And I think it was like the first 2 games. I don't even think he broke 200 in the passing yard game. But right now, like, with the weapons that we have, with the offensive line, like, I'm feeling really good. My only like really big question for you, DKB, if you don't mind, man, is like, how confident are you with our offensive line depth? Because right now I feel like the starters, I feel like we can just assume that Membu's going to start week 1. But like with the depth there, man, like how good do you feel with what the front office was able to put together as of now?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, right? I think people start fitting into their positions and their alignments a lot better, right? Like Carter Warren is, I think this is still this piece, and I respect Damian Woody's opinion on a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball. And he's like a secret favorite of his, right? He's like, he has all the tools he could have developed into a starter. He's just messy situation, bad spots for him. So you look at Carter Warren as a guy that could be like a spot starter if things start clicking for him with the new staff, which is also going to be a lot better, ideally, right? We haven't seen any games, but a lot better about putting these guys in position to succeed and not really playing this game when it comes to their development like we've seen with Robert Saleh with, musical chairs. So you don't have Armand Mimbu trying to play left tackle and he's trying to play guard and stuff over the course of OTAs or minicamp. And then I like a lot of the guys that we have behind them, not only on the interior, but like Carter Warren at tackle, Cole Laval, the UFL guard that we picked up last year, still love him. I love Leander Wigan, who I think is probably more of a guard than tackle for us. And you have the pieces like Josh Myers, who I don't think is legitimately going to win, but like there's a lot of these guys that either are very athletic and have shown some kind of high level play wherever they were previously at, mixed with some of these veterans that at least have done an adequate job of where they've been at. So I think you have a situation this year where the starters should be really good. And then in the event that these guys need a breather, which we know the big guys don't really get, but in the event they need a breather or they get a stinger or anything, you have guys that can come in and they've been able to refine themselves in the background for a minute now. So you expect them to be able to come in 5-10 plays, you're not seeing a huge drop off. And I think that's the difference maker between a lot of even like the elite tier teams who can outlast who the most when, stuff starts creeping up. So I think kind of on the heels of what I was talking about earlier with there being like some hidden breakout guys, the offensive line is probably where you'll see it the most, where, PFF will start putting out numbers that this guy was absolutely ridiculous, but he only had 200 snaps, right, for the season. So I feel really, really good about the depth so far, especially considering what we'll end up leaning into for the ground game and helping some of these guys not become a victim by getting aggressive out there.
Yeah, that's my only fear, man. I know Hep, he just alluded to it before, Johnny Boy. They're big on Arian Smith. For me, I feel like that the biggest X factor is that offensive line, man. Like if we can really just hold the fort down, allow Justin Fields to have some time, knowing that he does in the past he struggled a little bit just with certain kind of reads. If we could just allow him to have some time, and then if this things start breaking down, he doesn't have it, then he could just scramble and pick up some yards that way. Like for me, that's the biggest. Just knowing about success with our line. So I appreciate that. BG man, if you don't mind, man, how can we participate with the Wounded Warriors, man? Because I heard a little bit about that yesterday. I feel bad putting money towards that, knowing that YouTube's going to get a little something out of it. I rather just
Yes.
the easiest, cleanest way where we can just make sure that a bunch of the money goes there without YouTube getting their hands in that pocket.
Two things here. Number one, thank you so much for that because I know it's easy for a lot of people to donate through and it's fun. I can put it on the screen when super chats come through and memberships, and again, I love it. I'm not turning that away if that's how people want to contribute to the normal giveaways or this, which we're about to talk about in a second. Whatever way you guys can, I appreciate. But for the people like you, Chef, that said it, that's the other elephant in the room is that YouTube takes a 30% cut of anything any of us make in this YouTube world, including when you guys donate money, even if it's for a good cause or something. So the best way to do it is you could do it through me for today. I think my pop is going to start collecting it moving forward. When I'm going to make like a little poster, make it easy for all the graphics and everything, but I can send it over to him. Is the easiest way right now is at boygreen25 BOY green the color 25 on PayPal or Venmo is the easiest way if people have it in that way. Is to send it through that. And long story short, if people missed the show yesterday, we'll be talking about it every week. Is veterans are very important to me, or have been very important to my family. My father spent 20 years in the United States Navy. My brother was in the Marines for 4 years. Just military blood runs throughout my veins. So what we're doing is a 50-50 raffle starting from yesterday, technically, all the way through October 1st, is we're collecting money. And all the money that gets collected for this 50-50 raffle is whoever wins it, there's going to be a winner at the end of it, that someone that donated money, they're getting 50% of the entire pile of moolah. That goes to them to do whatever they want. Congratulations. And the other 50% is going 100% to the Wounded Warrior Project. There's no finder's fee for Boy Green. There's no finder's fee for my dad. I'm not saying, 5%, nice. No, all of it is going to charity, and then the other half is going to whoever wins it. So it's amazing. If you'd like to do that, Chef Kevin Gilbert, you can reach out on PayPal or Venmo. If one of those don't work, because I remember we had something with Zelle when that wasn't working or something, we could talk off air. You have my number. We could figure out how we're going to do it. But that would be amazing if you do want to contribute in that way.
Cool. I appreciate it. Both y'all, man. Salute to the coffee club members, man. Salute to the number one Austrian Jet fan, man. Good to see you around again, man. Thinking and praying for you. The content that you guys have, man, really remarkable. I appreciate the early morning show. Have a good one, y'all.
Well, actually, Chef, 1 second. There is a
Sure.
special guest that has requested your courtship in the kingdom. So we have a caller to get to that said, "Whoa, Chef Kevin Gilbert on the show. I need to pop on. It's Hop on Pop." Well,
Hey,
Hey
what up,
now.
Pop? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Listen to the show. Nothing but a good time, if you know what I'm saying. But
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody loves the Red Sox and their 9-game
Ah,
winning streak, which leads the Major League Baseball. But
mm,
enough of that. So, but you can't hate the hat because it's got like the USA, the
America, right?
flag,
The
America
USA.
right there. So,
Sure.
I know
anyway.
that's how you get away. It also all looks close to the Brooklyn Dodgers hat too.
Uh, Anyways, moving on.
Yes.
So yes. So anyways, I just want to give you a few thoughts, and then I gotta go, and it's God's day.
That's
Um,
right.
Blessed be He.
and just to be clear, I appreciate the opportunity to get the hop on pop item on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few thoughts, and then
Oh,
I could text you after, or you can get back to me with any thoughts. And if the end result is based what you already have, that we'll save it for the next time. That is okay. But I was
Oh shoot,
thinking
man. Let me hear it, man. Don't
in
hold
the
back.
spirit of the show, and I don't know if this is, I'm not to doubt your abilities, but in the spirit of the show, First of all, there's two food items that have consistently been in the running theme of Hop on Pop for those that have been on for a long time. One is popcorn. I had a Jared B bet on popcorn. Probably is not very exciting. And Jared B, I still have archived the popcorn from the Atlanta Falcons game, so it looks a little like blue cheese right now, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But I'm bringing that to the tailgate. And the other one is bacon, right? We actually have bacon merchandise with me from the last game that we all went to, holding up a piece of bacon at the request of Johnny Boy, who I'm still waiting to see him sport the shirt on the show. But so I don't know what that looks like, but there's two food themed things that have been part of my discussion on this show. And again, if it doesn't fit in, because I'm showing up late to the party, right? Cinderella's already ridden off with a shoe on her foot. So if it doesn't work out this time, we can extrapolate for the future.
Nah, just in this short time, man, I already got something like I already got it, man. I
Well,
already
there
got
you
it.
go.
Just hit me up, man. Just hit me up,
Ooh,
and I'll
okay.
relay you my thoughts, man.
Mm.
Well, sounds good. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time on the show. And yes, we'll have a graphic for next Saturday. We're only going to talk about it on Saturdays so we don't distract from Boy Green's raffles. But the Wounded Warriors will be a focus area. We'll draw the name at the tailgate.
There
50% of
you
the
go.
proceeds will go to the winner. 50% will go to the Wounded Warriors. All the money is going to the winner and the Wounded Warriors. So thank you for bringing it up, and thank you for
Absolutely.
supporting.
Yes, sir.
Pop, peace out. Enjoy church, my man. Blessed be he. Chef Kevin Gilbert, as always, thank you so much for the support, and I can't wait that I'm going to get to meet you. I'm going to get to meet your son. Most importantly, of course, his family. But there is another F word, a four-letter F word. Food, you sickos. Food. I was thinking of food. People's minds in the gutter. Food, baby, is going to be and being up close and personal with that menu. I've been staring at it. I've been salivating at it.
Come on,
I've been
man. It's
winking
only
at it
getting bigger
from
now.
across.
We got to put your pop stuff on.
Oh, good Lord, have mercy! It's
It's
about to
only
get
gonna
real
get bigger,
sexy.
man. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Nah,
So, Chef,
we gonna do it right, man. We're gonna do it right. Believe that.
appreciate all the support, Chef. Thank you, and more details to come, I guess.
That's right. Have
Tasty.
a good one, y'all. Thank you.
There he is, Chef Kevin Gilbert, gracing us
I
with
had to
his
get back
presence.
out east. I missed
Yeah.
all of the good stuff.
Apparently, that's what I'm telling you, DKB. Grab you, grab the kids, grab the wife, grab the whole family, and hit the road. And we'll have to make that happen, pal. Like I said, that would be absolutely brilliant to connect all the dots. Yeah, what we're doing for the Jets Cowboys game, this is my technically second year doing it, but first year real doing it myself, is reaching out to the Jets, which I already did ahead of months ago, but reaching out to the Jets ahead of time saying, hey, me and a bunch of Boy Green Coffee Club members want to all come to the game. How does that work? And going through that whole process. And we picked out the game. Then we eventually got the seats. And so we, all in all, 50 people will be going to the Jets Cowboys game from our universe, all sitting together, tailgating together. Thanks to Chef Kevin Gilbert, is going to be catering all the food before the game and stuff. So it's going to be sick. I can't wait. It's awesome. Shout out to Chef for volunteering to do this for a tailgate thing I've never done before, and him stepping up and said, "Sure, I'll give that a whirl." I'm like, "All right, you're the best." And so he's terrific. So it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be a
Never
real
say
good
we
time.
don't have the dopest community.
Dude, every single day I do this show, there's another reason saying it. Whether we've had all serious family stuff going on before and that people can divert and we can avoid talking Jets for the moment to like support whatever that is. Like there's community causes we've done before, which is amazing. Jet stuff is always fun. We get to do this show all the time. So 100%, it's exactly what you just said. This Jets community is friggin' the best, man. And I'm never going to forget it. So it's a wonderful place to be. Let's go back to the phone lines here, baby. Let's keep the good times rolling. And up next is Indy Jets, who says he has a special gift for Scotty Mayhem. Indy?
You already know. I put this on just for him.
Pacers. There you go. Indiana. Knicks
Yeah,
fans, rally.
yeah. You already know. I do that just for my buddy Scotty. Yeah,
That's beautiful. I love that.
and I think you should put. You need to put on screen the menu. BG, so
Oh
that
my
way
God, yes.
the rest of us can salivate until we get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see what this new item. So, Chef apparently immediately had ideas to my pop's idea of what he's going to put on the menu for him. And by the way, I just want to put this out in the universe. Thank you, everyone, for your hey, I want to be on the menu. I want to be on the menu. Apparently, that's the last one for Chef Kevin Gilbert in terms of name placement. But you guys can try for next year and put in some submissions. We'll see if we can work into it. But yes, as soon as that new one comes in, I have to make a new graphic to put up on the screen so we can all equally salivate months in advance.
Absolutely, absolutely. And DKB, it's a pleasure to meet you on here. You've got a new subscriber, so hey, we'll go with that. I do have a question though. You said you think that the run pass is going to be around 70-30, and I think it's probably going to be about 45-55.
70-30 towards the run, by the
Right,
way.
right. And I think it's going to be
Yes, of course.
45 run. We'll be a little run heavy because, I mean, if you stop, the numbers just don't add up. At 70-30, that means we're going to run the ball 50 times a game. And I even when we were ground and pound under Rex, we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We were more. It was more of a 55-35. I mean, you're not going to get that kind. We aren't going to run the ball 50 times a game. Um, yeah, we just are.
Well,
And
I
and,
would
and
say
here's why.
Okay, go ahead,
Because
DKB. Oh, you think so?
because that means Justin Fields is going to have to run the ball probably 15 plus times. And we don't want Justin Fields running the ball 15 times because he doesn't make the end of the season when he runs like that. He's
So
never had.
DKB, you said you have an answer to right? He's like, "Oh, we're not going to be able to do that." Go ahead, DKB, respond.
Yeah, I was gonna let him finish, but if you look at it this way, right? So the Lions, they've been jumping in rushing attempts for the last number of years, right? And I think if they didn't finish first, it was like they finished third or something over like the last couple year or two. So if obviously the Jets aren't going to be able to recreate that right out of the gate, but still, let's say we're near the top of the league. Let's say somewhere in the top 12. Then you're talking about we've already committed to this committee approach. So you have Brees Hall, who, if he is who we think he is, he's never topped 20 rushing attempts last year. I assume you want to fix that if he gets back on course. Then you're talking about Braylon Allen. You're probably going to try to get him somewhere between 5 and 15 touches. You have Isaiah Davis. Let's just say he gets somewhere between 5 and 10. And then you're going to be utilizing a lot of RPO and design rushing attempts for Justin Fields. I would cap that at, let's say, 5 to 7. So you're talking about at minimum here, probably at least 30 to 45 touches on the ground just from that sample size.
Good point.
Of course, that's assuming things click right in the game and we're up and all of these different factors, right? And 70-30 is definitely out there. So I could see 55-45, something like that being more in alignment. But I'm not even necessarily considering Justin Fields as a heavy emphasis on us being super committed to this ground game. I think it is going to be a lot on the basis of us trying to create this three-head monster. And then by nature of that, to something Chef was saying, actually, Justin Fields is going to be put in a situation as a runner he's never been in. He's had to be not only the offense in the ground game, but he's also had to do it himself because his offensive line was trash, right? So you're talking about all these improvements and different things he can do. 70-30 is steep, right? But I think it probably will be a tick higher. I probably roll with Boy Green. I think you mentioned 60-40, something like that.
Yes, yeah.
I could see us being somewhere in that range.
But quick follow up before we get back to you, Indy. I just want to hear on your Justin Fields touches you just gave. Is that orchestrated, or is it scrambles, or is that a combo platter you have? For your projections.
I don't see more than. Honestly, I don't see him. I don't see an orchestrated, as you say, more than
manufactured,
maybe,
right? Whatever you want to call it. Where hey, we get in the huddle, Justin, you're a QB trap. QB sweep, the pure QB draw, empty out QB draw, like the design of the play is Justin Fields running the football.
I don't see more than 3 or 4 plays a game, maybe.
I guess and let me put the caveat because the people out in the universe, the tush push that apparently is going to be a big factor to that. I guess that's almost its own category. So that probably shouldn't count to your 3 to 4.
And I'm just we're just talking, a designed play for Fields to run.
Right, in the first 3 downs. Right,
I don't see the purpose, and I don't see more than maybe 2 or 3 times in a game. And why would you? If our 3-headed running back crew it becomes what we hope it does, then why would you want Fields to take a hit?
Well, I don't
Because
want him to be a human battering ram because this is a guy
well, they're
that's
going to get tackled at some
never in
point.
his full career. Well,
He's
he
going to
is. That's
he's going
true.
to get tackled at some point. So you don't want your quarterback, a guy that's known to get hurt because he's running the
Right.
ball a lot.
He's
I
never
mean,
played a
that's
full season. Right.
right. I don't want him running the ball, and I don't think AG would do it either. If you're going to if we need a 4-yard run, would you rather Fields do it and take the hit, or would you rather just hand the ball off to one of the three running backs and let them take the beating?
I
And it
don't
makes
discriminate. Anyone that wants to, take that beating.
right, but I
should.
don't want. I mean, because once you lose Fields, now we're out. Now we got Tyrod.
Ty God. Yeah, we're
And
fine.
I'm not necessarily against Tyrod for a game or two. I don't think he's a bad quarterback for a guy that could come in and play a couple of games. I wouldn't want him as a starter. So protect your quarterback if you're going to. And that's where AG was saying. What was his comment, BG, about making him a passer?
Making him a quarterback. Yeah. They want to make it. They want to allow him to play the quarterback, basically.
Right. Yeah. They don't want to. AG doesn't even want him to be a running. They want him to play quarterback. Well, he's not going to play quarterback on the sidelines getting hurt. So what do? Don't let him don't let him run the ball unless he absolutely has to. And get out of bounds, get down, get back up for the next play. Let Breece Hall take the beating. Let Isaiah Davis take the beating. Let these guys take the beating, which is something he didn't have in Chicago because the year he had 1,100 yards rushing, he was the only offense. They had nobody. So why I just don't I think having Fields as an option to go, hey, maybe if he has to scramble, okay. Well, let's not design it in there. Because there's going to be times where he's going to have to scramble. So let's not put him out there and intentionally to make some more runs any more than maybe a couple of times a game. That's my 2 cents.
Well, the good news is we have the stack. We got Justin Fields, JF7. We got Ty God. We got Let Brady Cook. I mean, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. We got a whole room going on there.
Yeah, right. And that's why I don't want Fields running the balls because the tier just goes down farther and farther. But hey, it's a pleasure seeing you. And BG, did you know that Dak Prescott came out with a new cologne the other day?
Dak Attack? No, I did not.
No, it's called INT. You put it on when you don't want to score.
You should have saved that one for Pop. He may be at church
I missed
right
the
now.
show yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get on, so I was going to save that for Pop. But yeah,
that's good. He appreciates.
But anyway,
thank you, Indy. I appreciate it. And a new subscriber to DKB. Hopefully, a lot of new subscribers are coming from the channel coming over. That's great. Dak Attack gets so much hate, man. And I'll tell you, when the Cowboys were fuck around and you find out. Like, if Dak would have been an available quarterback at the same time that Aaron Rodgers was skipping out of town, I like Dak Prescott, man. I don't know. I like Dak a lot. Are you a Dak guy, DKB? Does the D in DKB stand for Dak?
Not even close.
Oh.
Nah, but I do remember putting out a video at one point in time when I thought that it was potential for him to be available. And I was like, yeah, why would you not look to get this guy on the team and think you couldn't excel with him? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I just feel like maybe it's a Cowboys thing that, like, by virtue, people are pre-programmed that aren't Cowboys fans to hate his guts, I guess. But I don't know, man. I like that a lot.
I can see why Cowboys fans specifically would be mad because you're either struggling to get to the playoffs with all the investments that are there up front and all that kind of stuff, or you're struggling to get past like the first round. So I could see them being pissed about him, like the playoff Dak being kind of a bust as opposed to the regular season guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's go to another Jets content creator. Let's all cheers our glass. We're all brethren, elite fraternity. Like if you watch NFL Game Day, they have this segment on the show, and I'm gonna butcher it now, but it's like the Gold Jacket Club or something. Like only Hall of Famers are allowed in the room. That's what we're about to have here with Jets content creator land. Like this next guy coming on. He's just a fellow Jets content creator brethren. It's Ricky New York Live. Okay, only Jets content creators on this segment. What's going on, Ricky?
How's it going, Paul? How's it going, DKB?
What's good, Ricky?
I have a question. I just got in from work, and so typically I'll kind of go through YouTube, and I could swear I saw a video from you. Like, I don't know, it's been maybe a week or so ago, I think. Did you do a video, something to the effect of Aaron Glenn has found the leak in the front office?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, man, I've been meaning to watch that. And I haven't been able to yet. I'm kind of in a stretch where I'm doing, 13, 14 hours a day of work for, thank God, tonight's the last night of that. But
Very good. Yeah, so can you
it,
give us a little scoop ski potato? That's what he's looking for. Not a complete scoopage because we want to, guide people to DKB channel. But Aaron Glenn has found the leak. Ooh, I'm intrigued. DKB, do tell.
Yeah, it was nothing in depth. It was more so. So the video itself is more so around the fact that Aaron Glenn kind of has this no gag order throughout the foundation right now, where if you look back over the course of this entire offseason, realistically, there's been zero to no leaks for anything, right?
True.
Uh, there's a part two that I've actually been trying to work on for this, or where we can maybe pinpoint some names based on who we've seen left, who's kind of held over, different things of that, and identify an actual person. But for that video itself, it was more so about the gag order, kind of some high level thoughts about what may have been going on with that whole leak situation and stuff. But it's not per like the usual video I would do for something like that. It's not super in depth and like showing a timeline and all these connective tissues and all this kind of stuff.
okay, right on, right on. Uh, yeah, I mean, things have been rather quiet for us this year compared to most years. And
Someone just said earlier in the chat, Ricky, they said, ugh, this Jets offseason is boring as hell. It was like one of the first comments on this video. Like, I just saw it. So, like, I created
good.
the link. Yeah, I created the link this morning and said, oh, reacting to Jets MVP. And I send the link over to DKB. And then I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes of the show. And I could see when comments are coming in, it goes, ba-ding, ba-ding. I'm like, oh, comments before the show. Let me see. This is the most boring Jets offseason of all time or something. And it just made me chuckle. And, like, hey, it's moving in silence.
All right. Well, let me say this about that.
Okay.
It is not boring. It is uneventful in the sense that we don't have a bunch of non-football nonsense to talk about for a change. However, to say that this is no, man. Like, if you look at everything that's going on, you listen to the players talk. In particular, Cisco, when he was talking, we're going to live and die by takeaways. They're emphasizing taking away the ball. They got sauce on the jugs machine. Cisco said, even if we can't make a play on the ball, we can tip it up for somebody else. Dude, I haven't heard a Jets defensive player talk about the tip drill since like Rex Ryan was here, and probably Herm Edwards before that. Point being, since we were winning, and I'm actually working on a video right now with parallels between, say, this regime and team versus the regime and the team from '98. Loaded with former players. That '98 team had a bunch of former players on the coaching staff who had a combined 12 Super Bowl rings between them. Now, I don't know if we got that kind of firepower, but like everybody's always saying, Aaron Glenn, former, Pro Bowl corner. But, dude, we got Chris Harris and Dre Bly. I mean, we got a lot of good former players that are part of this coaching staff. And so, I mean, just listening to it, every player you hear talk practically says, oh, yeah, I had a conversation with AG, and he said, I want you to work on this. This is what I expect from you. And the fact that he is connecting with, each and every one of our, at least starters at minimum, and setting goals for him early. And dude, just everything that I've been hearing, it's so positive and so encouraging and so unlike what we had with our last regime. I think, dude, I don't think Salah really did a lot to develop our stars like Brees and Garrett. I think he was just like, you know what you're capable of. You just go out there and be you, and probably gave him like one of those corny ass motivational sayings that he was so fond of. Which I don't, that's not Aaron Glenn's style. Like, I mean, and I knew, like, as soon as I heard all of them, like every one of them saying, I want you to be consistent. I want you to be more consistent. Like that word consistent just kept coming up. And I thought of Sauce like immediately. And it's like, okay, Sauce. So say you had this one game, you allowed 2 catches for 11 yards, no touchdowns. Now make every game look like that.
So
we
wait,
know what.
Ricky, are you saying we're not going to get an Aaron Glenn speech about an eagle and a crow and suffocating in the atmosphere and falling back down to the Earth's surface? We're not going to get something like that?
Probably not. Probably
That's
not.
too bad. That was eventful. I'll never forget that. Yeah.
If we got maybe not an eagle and a crow, it may be like an eagle and a raven. If AG tells some story about teams that he punched in the mouth during his career as a player, but that's about as close as we're going to get to any of that. No, thank goodness. Like, I mean, yeah, whoever bought Robert Saleh that calendar, with the different motivational sayings for each day.
I'm going to have to work this in.
And because he wore that thing out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really super excited with everything that I've heard from the players in particular, and I'm just really pumped for this year. Like, this is the first time that I felt like this in a while. Like, of course there was the '98 team with Parcells, but like even like that, Herm Edwards, like what I like to call the Martin and Mawai era of Jets football. There was like a good solid decade where, we were in the conversation all the time. Like, we were in the
2000s, right?
More times than not. Yeah. Late '90s, early 2000s. And like, dude, that's what being a Jets fan is to me. Like, that's how I still think of this team. Like, I used to go into every Sunday convinced we were going to win, like no doubt in my mind at all. And, what's transpired over the last couple of years. And I get what Indy's saying, but, I don't think it has to be like 30 plus carries a game versus, God, I don't know what's an average Zach Wilson stat, like 168 yards passing.
What do you want? That's
168 yards passing with 3 picks.
Yes, right. And blame the wind or his teammates for the loss. Yes.
Dude, you know what? I don't want to hear that. I remember one time, it was a game that I watched, and God, I can't even remember the specifics of who all was our roster and everything at that time. But I just remember watching on TV, all they could talk about was like the wind, and the wind's affecting the ball. And let me tell you what, Jay Cutler came into our house with his big ass arm and tore us up. And the wind didn't seem to affect him a bit. It bothered us apparently, but yeah, I that's another thing I won't miss is the excuse making era of Jets between Saleh and Zach and dude, I bet you that was Saleh's coaching style. Like, I bet guys screwed up at practice and he's like, all right, babe, we'll get him next time. And like, no, it's not okay. Like, I mean, I can just hear him saying that, like, and it drives me crazy. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think that Aaron Glenn's going to bring some of that hard nosed Parcells approach, but he's also able to connect with the younger players that we have today. I think it's just a perfect mixture. And as far as what Indy was saying about, you know, Aaron Glenn wants him to play quarterback. He doesn't want him to run. Dude, he does want him to run. Absolutely. And he talked about Fields, the dual threat quarterback. And this is the direction that the league is going. And you know what? I like that. I like that approach. I like the fact that Aaron Glenn is thinking like, okay, everybody's always waiting for that team to take the next step, you know, and all of a sudden we have these McVay and Shanahan and you know, these creative, you know, Ben Johnson, these creative offenses. But what's the next thing? And he's already thinking like, okay, I want to identify what that next thing is where the league is going, and that's what we're gonna do. Like I like that he wants to be ahead of the curve, not just in the curve. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, and I think we're going to see some really good, fun, creative play calling for a change. I think they're going to find a lot of creative ways to get guys the ball, and yeah, man. So you know, I don't think it's got to be either ground and pound or this and that. I think, you know, the particular game is going to dictate, you know, our approach, and I think it's going to be a little bit different for each game. But you know what? Like I said the other day, I think he's going to bring back that old Jets mentality where we may not win every game, but they're going to know they were in a fight. So
I love that.
That's year one. That's all I can ask for, man. But great job, guys, as always. Appreciate you, and go Jets.
There you go. Thanks for the call. I'm glad that Ricky brought that back up because a few things, and we'll finish up here. First off, I agree. It's not black and white. I didn't get a chance to interrupt Indy when he was saying it. Of like, you know, Aaron Glenn said he wants Justin Fields to play quarterback, which means who gives a shit that he knows how to run really well? That doesn't exist. In everything in life, it's not just black and white. There's gray, and the gray is this: do they want to unlock parts of his passing game we've never seen? Yes, I believe that's what they meant when they see that, but we'll see it when we see the regular season. But also, I think there is going to be naturally, you know, the utilization of him as a run. Again, I think there's a difference between him being a human battering ram. And all right, Justin, on this drive, we're going to do the national championship of Notre Dame here versus Ohio State. Riley Leonard, you're going to fucking punch your face into the line of scrimmage every fucking play all the way down. Oh, wow, we just scored a touchdown on the opening drive of the national championship game, but Riley Leonard just broke every bone in his body. Like, I don't think there's going to be drives like that. But situationally, hey, Justin, tush push opportunity here. Let's do it. Oh, Justin, we can catch him off guard. It's 2nd and 5. Maybe they think this is going to happen. Let's get a quick, the Josh Allen pull your lineman QB sweep. Take what's there. If nothing's there and there's a bunch of people, slide or run out of bounds. Like, I just think there's going to be some of that gray that we're not giving enough credit to here, DKB, that's going to exist here. I don't think it's just pass, run. I think there's going to be this balanced approach is what I expect from Tanner Ringstrand.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Indy was saying a lot of stuff for sure. A lot of stuff. I do think, like, if you did a breakdown of his run specifically this season, it'll probably look like more. I don't even want to call them scrambles because it's not a designed run, right? It's not like we said, all right, Justin Fields, you're running to the left off a pulling tackle. But it'll be situations where he tried to go through 1-2 reads. Nothing was there, saw a lane, took off, picked up 30 yards, right? You'll see a lot of that stuff, and it'll probably boil down into scrambles. But yeah, it doesn't need, like, the impact he can have on 5 to 8 touches on the ground, whether it's designed, whether it's him scrambling, anything, is such a stressor on the defense. Like, I can't remember how many times playing like cornerback or a safety in like high school or like trying to practice for it in college and stuff. And like just knowing that there was a quarterback that had the opportunity to run is irritating as hell, right? You much prefer to have a Tom Brady or a Kirk Cousins or somebody back there. And then if they're elite level athletic, even worse, right? Because that means you can't be a step off in different things of that nature, or that's really a done deal for you. But I think Ricky, I like the use of the word uneventful. I think that's the best way
Yes.
to go about this offseason, right? But also a little disingenuous for Robert Saleh. It's not his fault that he couldn't get Brees and Garrett and some of these guys coached up when he's making sure he connects with the guys by running the stairs. Um,
Oh my God! I'm never going to forget any of that. So that is much appreciated. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, again, new era. Thank God, new era. Thank God. All right, a couple of things here. First off, Ant Jets 82 gifting 5 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. We love to bleep and see it, baby. Or more gets gifted. I have no other choice. I must play a video package. Let's get some Mickey Shuffle.
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts. Get some cold cuts. Get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
Here we go, Ant Jets 82, 5 members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. NY Cursor, Jets Dogs 101, Ocho Nueve, Keith the Change, and O Rocks Games, or Zero Rocks Games, all getting memberships to Boy Green Coffee Club. Ant Jets 82, you are $5 away from getting a raffle ticket for the Jets Cowboys contest. Now, you still got 20 days-ish to do it before the end of July, so just keep that in mind. You don't have to gift that today, but just gift that before the end of the month so you have a chance to win those Jets Cowboys tickets. Much appreciated. Truman Dumel sent in a member shout out here, and every time I get a member shout out here from my daughter Zariah Luna. Wow. Throw this one over to you, DKB. If the Denver Broncos cut a certain interesting running back in Estime, aka former Notre Dame Golden Domer, do you have any interest? Is there room in this backfield? How many running backs are they keeping on this 53-man roster, do you suspect?
Yeah, Audric would be tough because I think he's at the very worst like a role player in the NFL, right? So you got to find whatever your next version of like a Zombie Knight or someone of that ilk is going to be. Audric Estime is not going to. If Audric Estime is on somebody's practice squad, because I don't see us carrying 4 running backs.
Oh,
if
you
he's on
don't?
somebody's practice squad, there's a deficit out here.
Okay. My gut actually thinks we're keeping 4. I think there are 3 that are locks for 53-man. Obviously, Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis. And I think there is an RB4 to have with how much you're going to run the football. And I think that guy right now is the Don, as Michigan fans are telling me is how I'm supposed to give his nickname, Donovan Edwards, who I friggin' love Donovan Edwards. I know some of the tape recently, questionable, but again, it's sort of the same thing earlier that you see the tape from earlier, like, oh, that's what Aaron Glenn said about someone else. Like, I saw the tape before, I know we could get it out of him again. There's a confidence there. And just one random nugget that I wanted to give that we just heard on the last call was we talked about with Arian Smith, the threat of Arian Smith and what he could be like. Oh, shit, we got to be ready for that. Justin Fields, just what you said just a minute ago, DKB, is that when I played running back and cornerback in high school, and when you knew a motherfucker could run all over the place, that was part of the game plan during the week of what are your responsibilities, because you're defending 2 plays, the normal play, and then the, oh, fuck, he just got out of the pocket, and now that play. So I had to be prepared on a down-to-down basis to be ready for 2 plays so double the snaps, right? We're playing 70 snaps a game, so I guess we're playing 140 snaps a game, because those are the other plays that you have to be there for. So when Justin, they're probably going to give him the respect off the top just because of his history. So they're going to prepare for that anyway. That's the same thing, though. Aaron, you're like, oh, shit, he could beat us deep. Justin, oh, shit, they could go crazy. And if I'm Brees Hall, that's great news for me. I don't have Aaron Rodgers, who has the mobility of a parked car being at quarterback. I got friggin' Justin Fields, who gives that threat. So when they're coming on some of those meshes and they're like closing on a Fields, Brees like, so thank you very much. Whoop. And he should have ops on that outside, which is there. So thank you for the random Notre Dame hate on Audric. That felt unnecessary, DKB, but thank you for working that in. Much appreciated. We have another comment to get to, but let me get to one more phone call here. Mr. Fulton here on the show. What's up, Mr. Fulton?
Hello, Paul. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I see you brought us out to the gun show here today. Very
Yeah,
nice.
well, I'm getting ready for my big birthday next Sunday,
Oh, congratulations.
26.
Happy early birthday again, pal.
Thank you.
What do
Yep.
we got cooking? What's going on?
I'm still working on that Jet song, but I've been losing my voice lately, so.
Oh, geez. I hope you feel better, pal.
Yeah, thank you. It's just I'm working very hard on it, and I don't know
Okay.
how long it's gonna be,
That's okay.
but
Take your time. Perfection takes time, Mr. Fulton. Mr. Famous
yes,
Fulton. Okay? It takes time.
yes.
So don't rush the process. Marinate on it. Bask in it. Swim around in it. Do what you need to do. And then when you unveil
hmm
this jet song that you're writing for this show, it's going to be
Yep,
it's going to be perfect.
I'll be ready for you, and it's gonna be a great song for you guys for your Jets team. So
Thank you, Mr. Fulton. And Mr. Famous,
you're
thanks for
welcome.
gracing us with your famous.
Thanks.
There he is. One of the best. Let's get one more in here, DKB, and it's just going back to that offensive line question we had earlier. We'll wrap up the show here. Rico the Pup says this is probably the best depth this offensive line has had in years. Josh Myers and we have Chuck Wuma Okora for Chooks are legit players, maybe not great players, but that's the kind of depth you're happy about. I am so high on Chuck Wuma Okora for. And no one else is in Jets land that I talked to. They're like, who was that? Who signed it? And I'm like, guys, this guy. And I'm not saying he's an all pro. I'm not saying he's a superstar. But if he has to be called upon, I feel good about him stepping in. Josh Myers, I feel okay about him stepping in. And shoot, if DKB, you and Damian Woody are at the bar talking about Carter Warren, okay, great. That's another guy that could step in. I'm a little questionable on who's playing left tackle if Olu gets hurt. That part scares the bejesus out of me because Chuck Wuma left New England last year because he didn't want to play left tackle. So all of a sudden people say, no, he'll play left tackle this time. Really? That's what Jet fans are saying. I'm like, I don't think so. Who the hell's playing left tackle? Is it Max Mitchell? If it's Carter Warren, okay, but hopefully. I don't feel as high on Carter Warren as Damian Woody does, but you know what?
Mhm.
Damian Woody has forgotten more football than I'll ever know. So I hope he's right.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, the if people are sleeping on Okoro for is madness right now, right? I think it's always intriguing because I think depending on what era of like a Jets fan someone is and stuff, there's very like radical opinions on certain players. So like I'm pretty familiar with DeBrickashaw Ferguson and stuff, and
Yeah.
there's no reason to slander this man. So I don't want to put this out there like that. But if he didn't have like the Iron Man streak and all this kind of stuff, like you can't necessarily separate his career out from a lot of other like average or slightly above average tackles. Too much.
Oh, what in the slanderous hell? I don't want to slander this man, but DeBrickashaw Ferguson? You're saying he's just another random brick? Good
Not
Lord.
another random tackle, but I
Oh.
like objectively speaking, if you for
Oh.
my stat watchers out there, if you lined him up against a lot of the other premier tackles out there, you start seeing him quickly fall under the ranks, right? When you look at like pass block win rate and all these different things. So he was a stalwart for us, and everything he did to help out our offensive line was elite tier. But like Chooks isn't too far removed from like a DeBrickashaw Ferguson on the tackle side, at least from when he
Wow.
was in his prime and stuff. So to have him as a backup option if Armand Mimbu really can be a day one starter is solid enough.
You had me on the hey, I'm on the Chuck Wilman train. I'm like, okay, there's plenty of room. I'm by myself over here, so sure, hop on the train. And then all of a sudden, we're like, hey, DeBrickashaw, hey, if you're watching the show today, hey, fuck you, buddy. A random stray bullet. I'm like, oh, and I'm trying to dive in front of him, in front of Brick to try to take him. I'm like, if we're being honest, beyond the stupid streak he had where he played every snap but one because of a trick play, pretty average. What the hell? Whoa. I'm sorry, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, if you and your family just said, oh, let's tune in to Bowling Green Daily. What's happening this morning? Boop, boop. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, what the hell? This poor man. What in the world of everything that just is over? Wow. Good Lord. Where did that come from? Did you just have that on your chest? Is that just something you've been wanting to get to for many years? I mean, good night.
DeBrickashaw stepped on my foot once. I've never forgotten.
Apparently not. Jesus. Well, okay. There's no better way to immediately end the show and never have you back on again than right now. No, but in all seriousness, DKB, give us another plug. It's fun having you on the show. I saw other people say we need to do this more regularly. I'll have to check in with your schedule. We'll see if we can try to make that happen. I know you're very busy with a big family, which is amazing, and family is amazing. We have 400 people in the room live on the show. There may be other indies, DKB, that have not heard or seen your show or something before. So now's your pitch to the people that are live, the 400 live, and there's a lot of people that listen to the audio only version. So shout out to them. The people on the replay that don't get up early. Yes. So send that love, please. Give us the plug for your channel.
Yeah, appreciate it. DKBX Jets, for anybody that's able to see it, right there on the screen for you. I believe he mentioned he has some stuff in the description and things before. But DKBX Jets or DKB Space Jets, I think either one finds my page, at least when I'm looking at like the metadata stuff. And that's really where you can find me. Like I'm not a big social media guy, so I have an Instagram that's connected to my YouTube, but I don't really use it at all for supporting the page or anything. And I don't have X or Twitter or whatever it's called now, or like any of that other stuff. So if you want me, it's going to be through YouTube for now. I'm trying to work on actually getting social media stuff out there, but I don't have the time for it, to be honest. I don't know how many of y'all end up doing this, because I'm like, it's a full-time job.
It is. But you are, so I've known forever that you're not a big social media guy. So if people are like, oh, let me go try to stalk DKB. Oh, well, no stalking to be done. He doesn't exist. But now you're willing to dabble. You're willing to swim. You're willing to get the Instagram gear on, the Facebook, Twitter, X, different name every week gear. You're willing to dip in there?
Yeah, not me. But I have some people that are more inclined to the social media world. So if anything,
to promote
they
the
can
show.
Essentially manage the
Oh,
profiles.
I see. Okay.
We'll go about it that way.
I want to be, again, we talked about it earlier as we're wrapping up the show here. On my gravestone, I want to see solid Jet Show. I want that on. And I want to be in a position where I have people that can run my social media. If I can accomplish either of those things, I am DKB killing life. That's for sure.
Touche. I'm getting yeah. We'll see. We might need a gap in time between the next visit, because I'm getting slaughtered here.
Oh boy, yeah. The immediate, yeah. I see. You can see the comment section. Yeah, yeah. That like the wonder. So this show's been going on for an hour and 40 minutes, and there's been so much. Oh my god, this DKB guy! What a guy! That's great. Wow, these takes. And then you put one bullet in the chamber at DeBrickashaw Ferguson, and I'm seeing people saying, "Where does this guy live?" I'm seeing like I just unsubscribed to the channel after subscribing. Like, wow, you're. I was just talking about wrestling, right? There's another wrestling pay per view tonight, all women, which is amazing. I'm a girl dad, that's amazing. I love seeing the Evolution 2.0 tonight, which is great for wrestling and all that, which is beautiful and amazing. And that you just heel turned on us. You're like, like, oh, I'm friends with Boy Green, and then you just punched me in the throat, and then the crowd goes, and he's like, yeah. Fuck you guys! Bow, bow, bow. And so that was a little surprising. I'm going to be honest. The crowd loves a good pop, a surprising plot twist that we didn't anticipate. And I did not anticipate you kicking DeBrickashaw Ferguson right between the family jewels. Did not have that on the bingo card. I will say that. Yeah. Wow.
Welcome to my channel, guys. It's going to be
That's the.
It's gonna be a hot take every once in a blue moon out there. I think Ricky tried to clean it up for me.
Yeah, he did.
It is what it is at this point.
So people in the back, clip this. Say, what is the DKB channel all about? Just grab that clip and send it out to the universe. Well, everybody, there's no better place to end. It is God's Day, as my father said earlier, so blessed be he. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Boy Green Daily. We'll have Nick Faria, who you guys were talking about earlier. Apparently, his Justin Fields takes are going viral for all the wrong reasons, so I guess we'll talk about that with Nick Faria tomorrow. Apparently, he's not a big Nick Faria or a big Justin Fields guy. Wonderful. We'll get into that. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. And one more time, again, DKB, thanks. I put out the DKB bat signal out in the universe. And you took off your glasses and went, damn it, I'm back. And you sprinted towards the danger. and came on. You may regret it now after the end of the show, but thank you very much for taking the time, my friend.
I appreciate the platform. It's always an excellent time talking with you and chatting with everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily.